Throughout this insurance section, we have covered numerous risks, including premature death and its potential financial burden to surviving dependents, any and own occupation short-term and long-term disability, acute and chronic medical needs, property damage, and personal liability. And when determining whether those risks should be self-funded or transferred through various types of insurance, we must assume each peril's frequency and financial severity. With risk of premature death, long-term disability, chronic medical care, property damage, and personal liability, we're primarily dealing with risks of low frequency but with high financial severity, necessitating risk transfer through insurance products if possible. During this lesson, I will share considerations about the risk of needing long-term care as you and your family members age. This conversation has become even more relevant as life expectancy has increased, yet cognitive decline, the need for ongoing assistance, and long-term care expenses have accelerated. Conversations about long-term care and aging typically start by acknowledging your own family's experiences, including your parents or grandparents. Have you known someone who lived in an assisted living or memory care facility? How long did they require care? How did other family members play a role in their support with their time, energy, or financial resources? Are you worried about the same happening to you, your spouse, or another family member? I encourage you to have these deeper conversations about aging and health that go beyond the money. Some families are less concerned about the financial consequence than the potential emotional burden on others. Most medical care in retirement is covered by Medicare, but custodial care is really the subject of long-term care funding. Custodial care means needing substantial assistance with at least 2 of the 6 activities of daily living, the ADLs: bathing, dressing, feeding, toileting, transferring, and continence. Broadly speaking, basic activities that require strength, coordination, and balance. Custodial care also applies to cognitive impairment, where someone needs supervision to remain safe. The cost of long-term care varies based on the care setting, location, level of care required, age, available income and assets, and other medical expenses. I found this Genworth cost of care calculator to be helpful for creating base case estimates. This free online tool includes average rates per region across all 50 states, which have increased since the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services mentions that every day until 2030, 10,000 baby boomers will turn 65, with 70% requiring some form of long-term care services at some point, and 20% needing it longer than 5 years. Educational resources are linked below for additional reading. Let's review a base case scenario. Steve mentions that his parents, Joan and Warren, lived in a memory care facility for 2 years each, both diagnosed with dementia in their mid-70s. Since he and his wife Susan anticipate they'll stay in New York throughout their lives, we'll review Syracuse, New York, their closest region with available cost estimates. The results include in-home care, community and assisted living, and nursing home facility estimates. Starting with in-home care, these homemaker services include hands-off help such as cooking, cleaning, and running errands. Home health aid services include hands-on personal care, but not medical care. These costs have increased the most as a percentage over the past few years. Moving to community and assisted living, adult day health care offers social and support services, including supervision and structured activities. They often provide personal care, transportation, medication management, and meals, but are intended to help individuals to live more independently and to provide relief for family caregivers. An assisted living facility, sometimes called a residential care facility, is an arrangement that provides personal care and health services, often as an alternative to a nursing home, but with a less extensive level of care. And lastly, nursing homes provide a higher level of supervision than assisted living, offering personal care assistance, room and board, medication, various therapy and rehab services, and on-site nursing care 24 hours per day. These rooms nationally average between $250 and $300 per day, which is about $90,000 to $100,000 per year, with a 3% average growth rate. Similar to the care Steve's parents received, we could use the semi-private nursing home facility rate for the analysis. Moving to the long-term care savings needs calculator, you can enter your base assumptions, including your current age, long-term care starting and ending ages, the assumed inflation rate and investment return, which combines to create an annualized inflation-adjusted return, in this case of 4%, and the current annual cost of care. The results based on these assumptions for Steve's scenario show that approximately $100,000 as a lump sum is needed today, or $9,000 saved and invested each year over the next 27 years. And of course, this analysis will change and should be monitored over time. Mental accounting is so powerful. Even if families have the available income and assets to self-fund long-term care expenses, they are often reluctant to spend it and may feel as they are stealing from other financial objectives, saying comments such as, "But we wanted this money to go to our grandchildren." If available funds are specifically earmarked for long-term care needs, it can be much easier to commit the funds for its purpose, to afford the quality care you need and deserve. If the financial severity of long-term care could translate into the inability to maintain your desired lifestyle when combining your retirement cash flow analysis, you may reach out to a long-term care specialist to compare pure or hybrid insurance contracts, even decades in advance of when you might expect a long-term care event. There is actually a long-term care professional designation, CLTC, and I've included links below for additional information.